Good morning, folks, and thank you for joining us today on our Let's Talk Careers series. We just wanted to let you know the purpose of these short interviews are to interview folks in certain career roles and occupations to share their story, their personal journeys to those occupations, their passions, how they went about getting into this type of work. And so with that, I'll introduce our guest today, Anthony Frisina from Above and Beyond. Sorry, Anthony. I knew I was going to do that. Anthony's from Above and Beyond. Thank you, Anthony, for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
So can you tell us a bit about your organization that you founded, Above and Beyond?
Yeah, so I created Above and Beyond, and it was through the grace of individuals where I also work at Mohawk College that there was the opportunity to bring to the forefront a topic of the importance of accessibility, awareness, and inclusion. So that started through Cable 14, and I am truly grateful for the opportunity for that platform to be able to discuss the importance of accessibility, awareness, and inclusion. And from there, after 2 seasons, it just has now catapulted into its own brand and opportunity, and this opportunity for change and the opportunity to talk about the importance of accessibility and awareness and inclusion, bring that topic of information to the forefront rather than consider it an afterthought.
Mm-hmm. And is there a personal reason why this was important for you to get involved in this?
I think I've always expressed a lot of gratitude in my life. I've grown up with a tremendous family support, great friends in my life, and it was my opportunity to kind of give back, to show the community what people with disabilities are all about, capabilities and opportunities to create that culture change that is so very needed in this community.
Mm-hmm. So to have a voice and allow those with that don't have a voice a way to
find their voice. And when we talk about finding our voices, it's not necessarily just in the audible sense. A voice is many things to many people. It could be something as much of a gesture. It could be a nudge, for example. Voices come in so many ways. And collaboratively, our voices are important to create fundamental systemic culture change. And we in Hamilton have the opportunity to do that. And I'm proud to be part of that community because we are about building allyships and relationships with various community members in and around the disability community, not necessarily just with the disability community. Because collaboratively, it does take a village to create that culture change.
Exactly. Yep. And there is a lot of support around this and a lot of organizations that are trying to work collaboratively to make these changes. And it's a lot of roads and a lot of uphill struggles for a lot of folks out there. So thank you for what you're doing, and we appreciate those that you're speaking for and helping represent. It's quite a battle, but it's very important.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's thanks to organizations like PATH that I actually worked with in the past in the late mid to late 90s. That has helped catapult my career. That's helped build that voice to where I am today. So I am truly grateful for organizations like PATH and organizations that have helped build the man that I am today. And it's really, as I said, it's about giving back. It's about showing our community that, we in Hamilton have to be leaders, pioneer these changes. I'm so passionate about wanting to be a leader to these changes. I want to be able to express voices so that we all have the opportunity to be heard in and around the table, so to speak.
Yep, absolutely. And did you go to school for any kind of studies in this field, Anthony, or?
So I'm a Mohawk College graduate of business and office administration. And and I currently work at Mohawk College as well as a student services representative. So, and I could be more grateful to Mohawk to showing me, by the grace of the opportunities that I was given, because I was treated as Anthony, not anything different, and that's the way growing up I was treated, and that to me was important. My younger brother, my younger sister treated me as Anthony. I used to be able to walk, but at the age of 12, I had a surgery that in '92 had a success rate of 40%. So that left me using a wheelchair, then and beyond. So my life, I had to alter my life and figure out, how I was going to navigate the world by using a wheelchair. And, I don't want to say I necessarily struggled at first. I was merely finding my way. But, as time progressed, it was important for me to feel the gratitude, um, feel the importance of, where I've come to, not because of my disability, but in spite of it. But I wanted to be able to, again, give back. And then I was able to learn about the opportunity through Above and Beyond and Cable 14. That platform was giving me that opportunity to send that message. And that, in Hamilton, the percentage of persons with disabilities are greater than the provincial and national averages, as we know. But it's all about bringing those voices together.
Exactly. And do you feel that you got the support that you needed in this community as a person who identifies as having a disability, or there's still a lot of work to be done? What would you?
Well, as Above and Beyond continues to grow, I couldn't be more grateful for the support that I've been given in this community, with a lot of relationships, a lot of partnerships. One of the more current relationships I have is with a gentleman by the name of Rich Padulo, who's the founder of the Treat Accessibly program. And Treat Accessibly is about bringing awareness to kids in and around Halloween, and for families to be more cognizant of how they set up their candy stations. Stairs are a barrier to young kids in wheelchairs, that use wheelchairs, excuse me, and being aware of audible sensory disabilities, not having loud noises, not having flashing lights within your vicinity. Being inclusive is so important, and it's so easy to do, and at the end it creates a collective prosperity in terms of being aware and being accessible to all.
And as you know, today is International Day of People with Disabilities. So this is an important topic that we're discussing around disabilities today. And to recognize that not all disabilities are visible.
That's
they
right.
come in very shapes and forms, and you have to be aware that not everyone around you that has a disability or identifies as having a disability, you don't know whether they do or not. So to be respectful and cognizant about that as well.
Yeah, and it coincides with simply just treating people as people first. It's that simple. It's that simple that we treat people with respect and dignity and independence, and the rest just falls into place. I think that with International Day of Persons with Disabilities this year, and as you said, not all disabilities are visible. It also coincides with the dual focus of building back better and more sustainable, more accessible, and more inclusive community post-COVID. And COVID has shown a lot of people, disability or not, part of what it's like to live in a world of being held back by disability, being not shown certain opportunities.
Yeah, so it's brought a little bit more light and awareness to the topic of disability.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, no, it really has. It really has put certain things into perspectives. Like, a lot of people are now working from home. Transit has been an issue for people with disabilities. the isolation for people with disabilities has become more prevalent. The access to funds to support people with disabilities during COVID has become scarce. And then, it's about, as the tagline says, above and beyond. It's about bridging the gap.
Mm-hmm.
What I say is I don't tell perfection, I celebrate progression. And I look at International Day of Persons with Disabilities as a new year, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Reflection on the past 365 days and looking forward to the following 365 days. And I think that is so important in the way we project ourselves as community members to build allyships, to build relationships with everybody so that we can collectively prosper here in Hamilton.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we can't succeed alone. We have to all succeed together.
Absolutely. And, I sometimes understand, and I'm in the same boat, that it's sometimes difficult to ask for help when needed.
Mm-hmm.
And I get that, but we also have to be aware of what's there to help people with disabilities and people in general, just to obtain, ultimate successes now and down the road.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So what recommendations or advice would you give somebody watching this now who may have some questions around their personal struggles? And
I think, first and foremost, and I know it's easier said than done, but you've got to believe in yourself, understand your strengths and build on them. Create that ultimate confidence within yourself to showcase that to the community and to build on that too, and then slowly progress to things that may be a little bit more challenging, and understanding within that self-confidence that you're able to bridge that gap, alleviate that barrier. But understand it's a marathon, not a sprint
mm-hmm.
to success.
Exactly.
And you've got to show that through constant perseverance, persistence, and with above and beyond, I've developed what I like to call the MICE principles. And the MICE principles stand for motivation, innovation, inspiration, celebration, education, and empowerment. Within that acronym MICE, I think we can achieve what we want to achieve when it's meant to be achieved. I think that we have to understand that we all have a strength, and we all have an opportunity here.
Mm-hmm.
We all have the abilities to get to where we want to be with the collective support of our community. And we have to be able to rely on each other, and we have to be detail focused on understanding, as a person with a disability who's lived experience, knowing what's best for ourselves for that ultimate success.
Mm-hmm. That's great advice, Anthony. Thank you. And how do you find that COVID has affected the work that you do?
COVID is working from home,
Mm-hmm.
as many people are now. I think that's kind of really been it in terms of the change. You're just not seeing your colleagues as much.
Mm-hmm.
You're at home. You're doing your work at home. I think it's just important that we understand that that things have changed, and it's tough for everybody. But we're all making the best of it, and
Mm-hmm.
and I think for me the biggest part of it is the isolation aspect. Knowing that I'm not out in the community as much as I would like to be, motivating, inspiring, innovating, celebrating, educating, and empowering. But that you've got to find another means to do that. We've all had to adjust,
Mm-hmm.
and at first, for me, full disclosure, the struggle was real. The struggle was just my mental health, being able to shift to working from home, to being in my own confines for longer periods than I would like. And I would like to just, I'd like to be out there as much more as I can, but obviously we can't right now until this COVID subsides. But, slowly evolving and getting a better mindset to being out there now and to being more aware and trying to live the best life I can through this COVID world that we live in right now.
That's awesome. Is there anything else that you'd like to share, Anthony?
Well, for 5 years now, in developing Above and Beyond, I also wanted to take the opportunity to share my journey. Journey as a person with a disability, lives with spina bifida and hydrocephalus, transitioned to a wheelchair at age 12. So I've written a book. Titled Above and Beyond. So that's out there right now. It's currently pre-sales are going on right now. So it's $20 per book plus tax, an extra $5 for shipping, and it just literally chronicles my journey. But it also shares some stories and insights into the importance of accessibility and inclusion and finding a voice from my eyes. Understanding that if we all represent the community as people, as we all work together to support inclusion, we support the opportunity for collective prosperity. And that's really the end game. I don't tell perfection, I celebrate progression. Understanding it's not a perfect world. We're not going to ultimately achieve perfection. But if we build the momentum and the progression, that's where we'll ultimately find our successes. As we celebrate today on International Day of Persons with Disabilities, we look back on the past 365 days, the wins and the opportunities. But we also look forward to the next 365 days. What can we do as people in our community with or without disabilities to support the opportunity of accessibility, awareness, and inclusion? Let's tally that up and build that momentum, build that progression, so that 1 year from now we can look back and say, yeah, we did this. We did this for Hamilton. We did this for that collective prosperity. Who wins? We all win when we focus on that.
That's great. Thank you so much for sharing that, Anthony, and with your journey and being open and honest. And we'll share a link on the Facebook post with your contact information, your website information, and information about the book if you like.
Absolutely.
And we look forward to your next year of adventure in this, what you're considering your new year, what you're going to come up with and what you're going to do. And
sky's the limit. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anthony, for joining us today. You take care.
Take care, Catherine. Thank you.
Bye now.